Hello everyone, I'm Ann Blackwood and I bring consciousness to the forefront of your daily life to make life a little kinder and simpler and to get you to think a little bit more every day. So, I heard this term, I've been hearing this term, I've been hearing people say this recently, and I thought it was interesting because I disagree with it in that sense. And it's people saying stuff about having a faulty inner compass. And I talk in my videos about your internal compass and about how that has to do with living an intuitive lifestyle, as I call it. And so I want to talk about this concept of a faulty inner compass, because I find that it's not so much the internal compass is faulty, so much as it's being filtered through the ego in some way. So it's not that the compass is faulty, but it's that your ego is getting in the way in some way or another. Whether it's that your ego is interpreting it for you, or your ego is like the devil and the angel on your shoulder, you know, your internal compass being the angel and your ego being the devil trying to contradict it if it's not directly filtering it like a bad game of telephone. So I want to bring this to everyone's attention because it's not that the internal compass is faulty. If you could tap in to and learn to listen to your internal compass, it's not going to steer you wrong, really, if you really learn how to do it. It's just that you haven't learned how. So I invite you all to ask yourselves to think about the last time you went, man, I really should have listened to myself. Think about what that was like. I've done this a handful of times in my life where I've been like, I had the instinct, it felt right, but it wasn't, no matter how strong it was, at some point I talked myself out of listening to it for whatever reason. I let the ego and the intellectual part of my brain talk me out of just going with what my internal compass told me was the right direction. And then, all things said and done, I really realized that, man, if I had just listened to my first instinct. And it's funny because it's one of the things that some of the training that I'm doing right now in my esoteric studies tells you to do, which is, even if as you're learning to develop your internal compass, even if it's wrong, or even if what you think it was is wrong, I should say, even if your interpretation of it was wrong, the first couple of times as you're developing your intuition, don't give up. Just keep going. Just keep trying, because you'll find, like I said, that it wasn't so much that your intuition was wrong so much as whatever it was that the message was got filtered through your ego, and the ego ended up interpreting it wrong. So, I want you guys, as you're going through your day, to take the time to ask yourself, all of the cluttered thinking aside, what is my first instinct? What was my first instinct? Not my second, not what do I feel is right, but what was my first instinct? Because sometimes your first instinct will come out, and then whether you realize it or not, your brain does all of this mental math and mental gymnastics and goes, oh no, this is what makes more sense. But your first instinct was something else, no matter what made more sense. And so you'll start to be able to gauge the instinct versus the rational, and then look and compare them. Just compare them. And see how often your first instinct versus your next instinct, with all of that mental math and mental gymnastics, which one is more often right? Much love, guys. Let's keep making our way through. I know I am. It is so funny to see some of the comments from the last 2 videos. I knew that people would be upset because I was calling them out on their immature BS. But honestly, I didn't think those people were going to find my video. I thought that the people who needed the validation, who were listening to themselves, those people were going to be the ones who found my video most. But apparently, right now, I am a magnet for trolls. So that's something that I am going to stop and think about. Okay, what is it in what am I vibrating that's making me a magnet for trolls, so that I can clear that space and make myself more of a magnet for the people that I want to be talking to anyway, because I'm not trying to talk to the trolls. Not really. I mean, I guess that was. I guess that a little bit of that was, hey guys, you're acting like a 5-year-old. Wake up. But part of it was also me hoping to validate those who aren't acting like 5-year-olds in their feeling. Because right now it can be kind of lonely for people out there who don't think like the majority. And just because it's the majority doesn't always mean it's right. All right, signing off now. Gotta go make that dinner call. Much love. Love yourself, however you show up. And keep making your way through.